Hello everyone, and this is Zorn, and welcome back to my screencast of Starcraft 2. First, quick apology that I haven't done videos in a while. Basically, Beta 13 hit. It was particularly buggy, even more so on the Mac side, and the game was down for a while. So I wasn't playing. It is back now, and the beta deadline has actually been extended to June 7th, so we have an extra week of beta testing, which is fun. Really excited about that. So anyway, today I want to broadcast a little game I just played. I spawned as the blue Protoss, and I fought the red Protoss, 3 square up here. This game is, I'm going to speed up a little bit because beginning is a little, we actually do almost the exact same build order. Basically going pylon, gateway, core, cybernetics core, and then we kind of deviate. But anyway, this game has a really cool trick that he used against me, which I really didn't know what was going on at the time. I thought maybe he was doing just a warp prism and just warping in units off of that, but he was actually using blink over the chasm here in Lost Temple, which I am just like amazed at. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So anyway, a couple other things just to talk about here. I'm getting a little bit better. I'm still in the silver, but I'm at the top of the silver, if that means anything. Definitely leaning towards Protoss as my favorite race, but I think that's just because they're the simplest ones. Terran are clearly the most dynamic, and Zerg are really cool, but Zerg require a lot of management, so you got to be really quick with the keyboard to really get the most out of Zerg. So anyway, I'm going to slow this down now, faster. So I'm up here, I got a fairly saturated main base. I have a secondary base coming up right now. This is one of those things on Lost Temple, my opponent does it as well, is that instead of building up on the ramp up here, instead you start your buildings down here, so that way you automatically protect your natural expansion, which, is really good stuff. The only real downside is that it makes this extremely large plateau even more vulnerable, which you'll see in a second. Now, I don't necessarily think if I were walling off my ramp, this would have protected me against this attack, but just that said, one of the things that's a real problem with this, you're really vulnerable here, is all the space. Zerg will do their tunnel attack. Protoss will warp in units using warp prism, although that's a little bit later. That's like mid game. So it's something you need to be aware of. As Protoss, you can build pylons on the edges. I've seen Terran build supply depots on the edges. It basically just gives you a lot of vision as to what's going on in the upper plateau. And as far as the lower plateau, use buildings early on to do a blockade, build your nexus or your natural expansion, and then you can move on from there. The gold is right here, right next to that, so that's actually pretty easy to go to for your third expansion, as long as your opponent isn't across the opposite way. So anyway, I'm down here. I'm saturating that. I have 2 gateways. I got a couple zealots, a couple stalkers. My general thought was basically just to generate a couple units, do some early harassment up here, at which you'll see, like, I picked off one guy earlier, and I tried to pick off another, although he's quickly massing a nice little army there. I see that he's going a lot of ground units, and I'm thinking I'm going to try to, try to snipe off a building or two, maybe with some void rays. Doesn't work out at all. Long and short of it is that void rays are like, for me, they feel like either you're going to win the match like right away or you're going to lose it. Particularly early on, like right here, I'm not doing a void ray rush in that I have lots of zealots, lots of stalkers, 2 gateways up. I mean, you can get void rays a lot faster if you want to, and you can win some games in the lower bracket with that, but it puts you in a very vulnerable position. So anyway, okay, so let's pause. Let's backtrack a couple seconds here. and see what's about to happen. So my opponent here, he's got a Robo Bay, and he made a observer. And instead of taking the observer all the way into my camp, he's just placed the observer halfway in between the void here. And early on, he did, I believe it was his like third building. He did a Twilight Council, which has the ability Blink to research for your stalkers. Now, this is a really cool ability. Basically, what it allows you to do is you select your stalkers, and then you can hit B, and wherever you have vision, you can click, and the stalkers will blink there. And the blink has a range of about, well, I'd say this is about their maximum range, because I've done it on the open field, and it doesn't even feel like it's this long. But it does indeed work. So let's get play going again. Just to give you a quick example of how this works. So he basically blinks in a bunch of his stalkers right into my base, right into the back door. And if it was just one void ray, or two void rays, I might be able to handle it. But a lot of stalkers, I repel the first force, but later in the game, he actually beats me with this. So I've got like a lot of army up here anticipating a ground offensive, but there you go, warps them right in. Oh, let's backtrack. I keep missing this. Da 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 da. Look at that! Bam, 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 bam. And actually, one stalker, a couple stalkers actually don't blink over, and they might actually take the long trip over. The thing I was disappointed with was once he got his stalkers over here, like he spent a bunch of time killing this pylon to kill this, Starport tech, which I guess is a good thing, but personally I would have went after the probes and kill my income. Yeah, those stalkers actually didn't make the jump. So maybe this is a little risky, but anyway, I thought this was a really, really cool move. I had not seen it previously used by my opponent, so definitely something to check out. Anyway, this game goes on for another 6 minutes. He basically tries to do a ground offensive up in my front. That doesn't work for a while. Then he does another offensive with the blink, and that works really well, and I lose. So anyway, I just wanted to share you this little strat. I thought it was really cool, and particularly, so like I'm right here, and I'm standing here, and I don't see the observer obviously because I don't have cannons or any kind of observer tech with me, and so like I'm totally in the dark as how he's doing this. I thought maybe he had a warp prism, because you can create that out of the robotics bay. Let me go to everyone. So in Robo, there's this thing called a warp prism. It's 200 minerals, two food. Husky likes to call them the paper airplanes because they have really low HP. But they're kind of cool in that you can turn them into a pylon and use them to warp in stuff via the warp gates. And I thought that's what he was doing, which, I mean, you can probably do that too, but it takes some time. Blink is like instantaneous, and you can get some guys over here and do some harassment. So anyway, I just want to close this out, and hopefully you can get another couple videos in before the beta closes. And thanks a lot for watching, and see you guys later.